Am I the asshole for insisting my sister uphold her end of our custody agreement? I am not the original poster. That is you, Feisty Cupcake 7060. She posted in RAITAH. Trigger warning. Drug addiction. Using drugs while pregnant. Emotional abuse. Less than. Mood spoiler. Sad. But oop is amazing. Less than. Original post. September 25, 2023. So there's a lot of backstory here. My sister Lily F35 had my niece Emma F9 when she was 26. She was at the time living with my parents along with her then boyfriend, and they had both just gotten out of rehab for heroin addiction. Both her and her boyfriend were not able to stay clean for long, and she was using throughout her pregnancy. When Emma was almost 2 months, she came to me begging me to take Emma for 2 months while she checked into rehab again to get clean. I was 22 living in an efficiency apartment while putting myself through law school. But my parents insisted they couldn't care for an infant and had suggested foster care to my sister. So I took my niece in. When my sister got out of her rehab, she got back together with her BF, who was still taking drugs, and thus began 5 years of a vicious cycle where one of them would get clean only to be dragged back under by the other. I took legal guardianship Emma, although it was still supposed to be temporary. Every time Lily would bring up taking her back, I would agree on the condition that they both passed a drug test, and it simply never happened. When Emma was almost 6 years old, my sister came to me saying she was once again pregnant. This was the turning point for her, and she gave birth to my nephew, having been clean for almost 8 months. Obviously it was very hard for both me and Emma, going from her living with me to moving back with her parents. We went to court and worked out a custody arrangement where I still have Emma every weekend, but she spends the week with her mom and dad. We attended family therapy all together for the first year, and once we settled on a routine we stopped. Here comes the issue. My sister is once again pregnant, and she and her former BF, now husband, say that they don't want to allow Emma to come with me weekends because apparently she comes home to them acting like a brat. I absolutely understand the issue. I explained to my sister that when Emma is with me she is the center of attention, and going from that to having to fight her brother for her mom's limited attention between bouts of morning sickness has to be hard. I offered to take my nephew weekends as well to give my sister some rest, or to possibly resume family therapy so Emma could work through these changes. My sister simply told me that Emma would be taking a break from spending time with me. I let her have 2 weekends with Emma, and then when she continued to stonewall me I threatened to take her to court. We have a custody agreement in place and I am still one of Emma's legal guardians. She said I'm throwing the past in her face and won't let her be a real mother to Emma. I'm conflicted. I raised Emma for almost 6 years and I treasure every moment I spend with her. But am I getting in the way? Emma calls me every evening and asks what we are doing over the weekend and why I don't have time for her. So I think additionally my sister is spinning it as me not wanting her to come. I just want what's best for Emma. So Reddit AITAH? Edit to clear up some misunderstandings. Emma is now 9. My sister has been clean for over 3 years. We transitioned Emma very slowly. She was with her parents every other weekend for a year. Then we had 50-50 split, and now I have weekends. For those saying I'm making it difficult for them to spend family time on weekends, I have always been flexible, and if they told me they had weekend plans I would absolutely let them take Emma. This is not about them wanting to do stuff with Emma. This is about them not wanting me to do stuff with Emma. They send her brother to my parents' house Saturday and Sunday so they can unwind. And the past 2 weekends they sent Emma to her grandparents as well. So I don't see how it's that different if I take her. My sister is a stay-at-home mom. She does not work, so she has plenty of time with Emma. She is almost 300 pounds and rarely leaves the house, which always looks like a tornado hit. My parents purchased my sister a house when Emma was 3 in hopes that would help with her being able to regain custody. So with my Bill working an IT job, they are able to make ends meet. I drive Emma to karate, swimming and Girl Scouts every week, and am in constant contact with her to make sure she is doing well. My Bill has relapsed twice in the past 3 years, but he was kicked out of the house both times, so Emma wasn't forced to witness anything. For those saying that they are using Emma as a babysitter, I really don't think so. My sis rarely leaves the house, and I make sure Emma has lots of activities because I think it's important that she is out of the house and active. Also, apparently they recently let her watch her 3-year-old brother for 2 hours, and she was so excited that they paid her $20. Edit. Same post. September 27, 2023. 2 days later. So the comments about what might be happening at home with Emma really scared me. I reached out to the therapist Emma used to see and made an appointment for Friday after school. The way we always do appointments is she gets to talk to her therapist alone first, and then I come in and we talk together. I'm going to make sure she knows I will always have time for her and will always want her. I'm also going to ask whether she's happy living with her parents or whether she would prefer we to spend less time there. Wish me luck, and thank you all for your feedback. Relevant comments. On the transition, how things happen. I would never let them sever our bond. We were very slow to transition her. They had her every other weekend for almost a year before we switched her primary residence. I know that I could easily get custody back. I'm a lawyer and I not only know every loophole in the law, I know the people in the system, which is why I don't doubt I could regain custody and would if I thought she wasn't safe. I just don't know if that's the right move. Emma makes it clear that she considers me a mom, but my sister harbors so much guilt for not being there and is trying so hard to be the best mother possible. It's hard to see the forest through the trees. We transitioned slowly, so they had weekends for the first year. Then we had 50-50 split for almost a year, and now I have had weekends for almost a year. On Emma's behavior, she was doing really well until my sister got pregnant again. She loved having a little brother, and she had started calling my sister mom for the first time. I'm paying for her to attend the private school she attended preschool and kindergarten for. And she was really doing well with a stable social group and teachers. Apparently she started coming back from her weekends with me, and she wouldn't listen to her parents for the first 2 to 3 days of the week, and by the time my sister felt Emma was following house rules, it was time for my weekend, and the cycle just kept repeating. And yes, my sister has openly admitted that she is jealous of me, not only of my bond with Emma, but also of the fact that I can financially afford to provide Emma with a lot that she can't. She says I spoil her, and I'll openly admit I do. She's my girl and I want to give her the world. From what I understand, she simply doesn't listen when they tell her to do things like do the dishes or get off the iPad. It's hard because we don't really have the same dynamic. I have her out of the house all day during the weekend doing activities, and I don't let her have screen time except right after dinner sometimes. And I have a dishwasher, so she just puts her dishes away. But I've never had any issues with her listening to me. Guilt. I have a lot of guilt associated with Emma calling me mom. She called me mom for the first 3 years of her life. Then my sister came to visit, and when Emma called me mom, she had a breakdown, screaming, crying and asking how could I let Emma think I was her mother. It really scared and confused Emma, and when my parents got involved, it was decided that Emma should call me something else. Anything else. There is no consensus bot on AITAH, but the majority of opinions seem to be NTA. Update post. November 16, 2023. 7 weeks later, recovered with Reddit. Hey, I've had so many people reach out for an update, but the last month has been so crazy. Firstly, I will link my original post here. https://wreddit.com/r/a.i.t.a/comments/16cedo5/am the asshole for insisting my sister uphold. UTM source equals share and UTM medium equals web2x and context equals 3. So, in short, my sister gave birth and I now have custody of all 3 children. I took Emma to an emergency therapy session, and she revealed a lot of mental manipulation that Lily had been doing. Apparently my sister told her that she had to beg me to take her as a baby, that I had never wanted her and gave her back as soon as I was able. Giving my sister credit where it is due, I did not originally want to take my niece in. I was in my first year of law school, living in an efficiency apartment and flat broke. The idea of caring for an infant, even for just a couple months, while in school was scary and I didn't know how I would manage. I relied heavily on government assistance and my parents. That didn't mean I didn't love her, or that I wanted to give her back. I was trying to do what I thought was best for her at every turn. After the therapy session, I filed for an emergency custody order, citing parental alienation, but also the ace up my sleeve that my sister was using marijuana, which violated her conditions under which she could have custody. It's not legal in my state, and she doesn't have a prescription either. So I requested a drug test and a home visit, as I also cited the state of the home. I had said that the house was a mess, but it was to the point of being a health hazard and a hoarding situation. I was granted emergency custody and CPS showed up at my sister's door on the following Monday. I knew this much was going to happen. I said on my previous post that I was confident in the fact I could get custody back, and that is because I was aware of her use of weed. To be clear, I didn't see it as a problem. She gets migraines and uses it. However, I was not above weaponizing it if need be. This is, however, where everything went off the rails unexpectedly. Some people on the last post said that I clearly dislike my sister. I don't. I love her, and I think that most of her troubles are due to her trusting nature and the people she surrounds herself with. However, I will be clear. I hate my bill. When CPS arrived, they found that my bill had been growing not only marijuana in the basement, but also psychedelic mushrooms. When they drug tested both of them, they found not only marijuana in their systems, but several other drugs, including fentanyl, which was probably laced with whatever they were using. They immediately removed my nephew and reached out to me to take him. They were both arrested on charges related to my BIL's horticultural activities in the basement. I can honestly say I didn't see it. I knew she was depressed, but I didn't see any signs of her using again. And the fact that she was pregnant and using, words can't express my betrayal. I adjusted to life with 2 kids very quickly, but I knew that she was going to have another infant soon. So, I visited my pregnant sister in jail and I made a deal with her. She gave up all parental rights to all 3 kids in exchange for me paying her bail and providing her with an attorney so that she had the best possible chance of avoiding jail time. Unfortunately, I had to also bail my bill out and pay for his attorney fees. She gave birth a week ago. Thankfully, she didn't have to give birth in jail. And thankfully, my second nephew seems to be healthy despite her drug and alcohol use. I have full custody of Emma and both her brothers, and am in the process of filing for legal adoption, which is far different than guardianship. But I don't have doubts I will be successful given both parents signed away their rights. I know I'm doing the right thing. The past has shown me that I don't want to be in limbo, waiting for her to be clean long enough to take the kids back. It has also proven to me that I can't trust her. I don't want to co-parent with someone who will lie and manipulate like she did. Emma is thriving. I have literally never seen her happier. And despite some sleepless nights, the baby and I are doing well. I worry most for my 3-year-old nephew, Ian. He is doing well so far, but I don't think it has sunk in that this is permanent. We will definitely be doing family therapy. I hope that I have covered everything. Thank you so much to everyone who convinced me that everything was not right with Emma. Without you, I don't like to think what could have happened. Edit. I have seen a lot of concern in the comments about my sister having another baby. It is very unlikely. The reason she had Emma in the first place was because she wasn't on any form of birth control. Because she thought she couldn't get pregnant. When she was a teenager, she had to have one of her ovaries removed, and the doctor said there was very little chance of getting pregnant. Emma was breech when she was born, so my sister had to have a cesarean and thus had a cesarean with both other children. According to the doctor, when my latest nephew was born, there were complications, and due to extensive scarring in addition to only one ovary, the doctor told her that it's very unlikely she will have more children. It's not impossible that she could have another child, but the chances are so low that with everything else I need to worry about, I am choosing not to worry about that for the time being. Relevant comments. Info, curiosity on law school. I finished law school almost 7 years ago. I worked as an ADA fresh out of law school, and now I work as a criminal defense attorney, occasionally working some family law cases. I'm taking a business certification in international law right now, as I was raised in Europe, now live in the States, and I was interested in possibly switching to being an attorney for an international company with the possibility of travel. Now I will have to take the kids into account with any job changes. I spent my childhood always traveling, and although I love the different cultures I was introduced to, I never had a chance to put down roots. Have your parents chimed in on this? My parents and I are taking a break from each other. When I filed for emergency custody, my parents were livid and we both said some things. I understand their position. It really seemed like my sister's family had pulled it all together, and my parents thought I was trying to ruin that. I think that things changed when everything shook out. This is the first time they have refused to bail my sister out. But they haven't reached out, and I would rather give it some time. I'm sleep deprived and overwhelmed right now, and I don't want to say anything more I might regret. Wow, Oop is fantastic here. Incredibly generous of her to take in not just 1, but 3 kids all on her own. Respect. Op is a saint for putting the children first and managed to help all 3 of them on her own. Definitely. She is a super auntie. A home with fentanyl in it. And children. Fearful face, a grain of that could kill a child. Oop is doing the right thing. Screw the parents and the grandparents. This is about safeguarding those 3 babies. I get that Oop did that to secure a good future for her niece. But it seems like maybe not bailing her out would have also gotten her custody of the kids? Op is basically a saint. Holy mackerel, that was a tough one to read. Those kids are lucky to have super mom aunt. It seems like Reddit saved some kids. Do therapists often disclose what young children say to them to caretakers? Do criminal defense lawyers make private school money? That part felt out of left field for me. She will be pregnant again soon. She'll just keep having kids and Op will keep taking them in. Tragic. Op is an award winner here. Thanks goodness those kids have her on their side. Why the hell did she bail the bill out?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. EpicAriaCast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.